Hey everyone, it's Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2019. Let's just go down the list. Uh, I'm going to try to talk about quite a few stocks. Let's start with MagneGas. It looks like it's still it's kind of reached the bottom. I really think the bottom is 88 cents. I don't think it's going to go farther down than that. I think the last thing I read on the SEC filing that they were buying somebody was buying a stock at a bulk huge amount around 77 cents or something like that, which that'll give you a good indication that that's probably the lowest it can go. If it goes down lower than that, then you've gotten a cheaper deal than somebody buying a huge amount of stocks at one time. Still not really confident in. And I'm not the fact that I'm confident in the company. That's not the question, or that's not the important thing, I should say. The important thing is buyers and traders, their sentiment towards that company. That's the most important thing, because you can have a crappy company with an amazing powerhouse of just fans and people that believe in it. And that's how Tesla, I mean, it was an amazing company, obviously, but they were in the red for quite some time. They weren't making any money, and they were obviously at like $300. It was only till last few quarters that they started making a profit. Now they weren't a crappy company, but for a company that's always in the red, or that's always been in the red, they spent more money than they've made at the time. That's $300. That's a huge price tag. Of course, it's Tesla. There's only a handful of companies that you'll ever see that really keeping that up, and sentiments high eh, and faith in the company is really high. Netflix was one of them. Netflix had the mentality of spending more than what they made, and you'll see a lot of companies, especially like startups. They like, you got to spend money to make money. That whole mentality, but that's only a select few companies can do that. Not everyone can do that. People use that excuse to to say that they're in the negative, or that they're not making money, they're in the red. That, oh well, that's just the process. We got to spend money to make money. But no, that's not it. If you're looking at penny stocks, if you're looking at small companies, they better be pretty close. They better be at the borderline, and they better show why they're not making a profit. Now, it's just an example. MagneGas wasn't making a profit, or still isn't making a profit. They have no excuse. I mean, yeah, they're doing a lot of acquisitions and stuff, but I saw the press release saying that in the last 13 months they've bought in seven different companies, which that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. They're using investors' money to buy these things, and it's crazy. But let's look at a few other companies. Yeti. I spoke on this company quite a few times here in the South. Coolers and stuff. You need a cooler because it just gets so hot, and Yeti is just an amazing product. I would put Yeti almost, or if not, I would say that they're on the top of the line with Canada Goose jackets, and how good they are against the cold. As good of a product, Yeti is like Canada Goose, but for coolers, and for like especially those little bitty mugs that you see. And I said in my last videos, in a couple last videos too, that the competitors are those cheap ones that you can buy at the dollar store, at the $5 store, the five below store, and then Walmart. But Yeti is a really, really amazing product. I purchased in. It wasn't a huge amount, because I wasn't expecting Yeti to like jump up 40% or so, but I was expecting over time for it to go up from 10 to 15%. It happened a little earlier than I'd expected. I didn't even realize that they had the quarterly call, and the quarterly call came today. I think in my portfolio last time I looked, it went up about 12%, and I just sold it for a profit. Right now, it's up 3% more. I sold it for a profit really quick. If I was an investor that was thinking long term, I would have kept it in there. It would have I would have kept it in there, hoping that it would have that same trend that Canada Goose had in the last few months, or in the last year. But since I would be a long term trader only if my portfolio reaches to like 400,000 and more, then I become a long term trader. But if I'm not at that level, and I'm not at that level or close to it, so what my mentality is to look at penny stocks and more volatile stocks, and you'll see me make huge moves, very, very risky moves, and putting everything that I have of all my portfolio into a stock that I believe in. So then I would have to be an extreme expert in a certain stock. That's why I always say I'm only an expert at one or two stocks, and the other ones I kind of know about them, but that's it. And that's the way that a lot of people have made their money in the past. And right now, MagneGas and POTN, those are my two stocks. Those are ones. So MagneGas is I'm pushing away from it, but I have my eye on it just in case. That's why you've heard me mention that MagneGas is really cheap right now, even though all the negative things that I've talked about them, and there's been a lot. It's really cheap. It's trading at close to between 4 or 5 cents pre reverse split. But POTN, since we're on that topic, I'm very long on POTN, and when I say long, I think more. I'm like in the next few months, the potential for it to go up is way higher than the potential for it to go down. I bought POTN once more, and I put like half of my portfolio on POTN. I bought it at 16 cents, or I can't remember. It was between 14 or 16 cents. And I sold yesterday at 18.5, a little bit more than 18 cents. Now, it was a little nervous, but it was a good nervous. Whenever I'm selling a company, whenever I'm selling the stocks that I have, and I'm more nervous that I'm going to miss out rather than I'm going to lose my money, I'm more nervous, then that's a good sign. I'd rather be nervous for that reason. So I'm more nervous that I'm going to sell and the company's still going to go up. Now, if I'm nervous and I'm like, I got to get the heck out of here, I don't know what's going to happen. That's more of when MagneGas would have those giant jumps. I had that nervous feeling like I got to get out of this thing, because it's not worth that much. Those are the feelings that I had. Now with POTN, Pot Network Holdings, there's obviously some red flags. It's a penny stock. You're going to see red flags with a penny stock. But with POTN, it's just there's a lot of green flags when you're talking about it being a pink sheet stock, it being so cheap. I mean, I'm taking a look at other pink sheet stock companies that are at like 90 cents, which is almost like 5 times the amount. And I'm like, there should no reason why this other stock should be almost at $1. Now, when I look at POTN, even if they're exaggerating their numbers, the fact that right now it's at 18 cents, that blows my mind. I mean, it's almost to the point where it's like, it's unbelievable. I mean, if the numbers are true, that's crazy. This is crazy cheap stock. And I remember buying into it at 10 cents and then selling it at 14. I know I probably, more than likely, I'm more bullish on this stock. I feel like it's going to go past 18 cents. The only thing that I'm a little afraid of is just the fact of more losing, because putting everything in your portfolio in there, and it's really, really like a mind screw with you, because I've gotten better at it. I'm a lot more, since I'm doing that more. Whenever you're starting to trade in, you gotta be comfortable with the understanding that you could lose everything, or you lose a lot, and money to you psychologically cannot be that important to you. Like if you, and in a lot of ways, it's because I'm so used to in my past being okay with not having money, that when you have money, you're more willing to gamble, and you're willing to start from scratch all over again because you've done it for so many times. You're not afraid of it. But with POTN, I'm more afraid now because I sold yesterday that I'm going to miss out, and at any moment it can go up because they're waiting for their release in their numbers. Now, even if the numbers are not that good as price, it could only go down like 10 cents, which is nothing. I mean, obviously, if it goes down 10 cents, people lose half of their whatever they have. But the potential for it to go up is just a lot more. When you go on Yahoo and you look at the conversations, now this is a whole topic in itself, going into like these little websites, and they're talking about the company that you're invested in. You have to be careful, because I've always seen it that whenever it's always happened. I mean, there's always exceptions, but whenever you go into these websites and every single person on the website is bullish on your stock, every single there's probably, maybe there's one out of like 100 comments where somebody's like just maybe like a bitter, or maybe they lost money, or they have something against that, or maybe they're just faking it, and they're lying so that the company would go down, the price would go down so they can buy in themselves. But when I'm afraid whenever I go into a conversation and everyone is bullish, because I've always seen when everyone is bullish on it and they're long and they want to hold and everything, then that next day the stock actually goes down. It's weird. Now, and I've always been, whenever there's like a mixture of it, or even to the reverse side, whenever there's one person like, man, you really got to invest in this thing, and everybody else is just dogging it and saying all these negative things. I remember that happened when I was looking at MagneGas, and it was at 14 cents. There was only one guy, or it was like maybe another company too. There was only one guy that was saying a good thing about it, and everybody else was dogging it. And then you start thinking like, maybe I should invest in it, because with the stock market, it's always going to be the unicorns that make that, double their portfolio, triple their portfolio. It's never going to be the vast majority of people that do that. The vast majority of people are going to lose in the stock market, and that's just the percentage. That's just how the probability. So a lot of people have the mindset of doing the exact opposite of what everybody's doing. But with POTN, green flags, when I say green flags, I look at the Instagram. I've done everything short of buy the product, and I know that's hypocritical of me, because I've always said, if you're going to invest thousands of dollars into a company, at least try the product. There's no way why you can't spend $50 and just buying a thing and sending it over to yourself. And POTN, I have to do that. I should at least buy the gummies. The thing that I rely on, because they do CBD stuff, the thing that I rely on is I do look at the comments on their actual website. Not too much, because they own the website. Anybody can, and I'm not saying that they do this, but anybody can delete bad comments on websites. So if I sell T-shirts and it's my own website and somebody puts a bad rating on it, I mean, I can use any excuse to take it off. And I remember it was Canada Goose website, and I trying to buy a jacket at Canada Goose, and it was taking so freaking long that I posted a review on on the jackets. I'm like, you keep saying that you'll have it available, but it's never available. It's always sold out. And I'm like, when is it going to happen, right? And that they sent me an email saying that we're taking your comment off, or your review off, which of course it's valid, because I didn't actually buy it to review it. But these websites, they can control everything. They can take off the bad comments. You never know. I'm not saying that they do, but another company can have people just come in and review comments and pretend like they're actual shoppers when they're not. But they have a lot of products, and for the most part, what I've seen, all their products, the POTN, each brand has like an Instagram thing, and they have some followers. I think one of their most famous ones has like 11,000 followers, and that's pretty good. That's pretty good for companies, because not a lot of people go on Instagram and follow a product. That's kind of weird. They follow people, or they follow like a huge thing like a GQ magazine or something like that, but not something that I buy. Like I'm not following like Chex Mix because I buy Chex Mix. Like that's just retarded. Or I should say this is probably the wrong politically correct word to say, but POTN, I am a little bullish. At any moment, I can see a way higher of an upside than it is downside. I'm going to start to scale my way in, and I've already put a purchased order for 18 cents. I even doubt that it'll go that low. It might catch it on the way. If it goes down more, if it goes down to 16 cents, 14 cents, that's even better, because I'll purchase more into it. But yeah, I put in like half of my portfolio into that stock, and that's nothing compared to what I've done in the past. I do high risk maneuvers, and you get used to it. And now I get into a point where I'm not even worried about it. Before, when I was like trading these big numbers and stuff, I mean, it would keep me up. I would be constantly looking at my phone trying to see what's going to happen. But now I'm just a lot more at ease. And that's when you know it's a good sign, when you bought into a company and you have ease. You're not too stressed out about it. The price is really low. There's, like I said, there's more of an upside. But let's talk about a few other companies. Snapchat. I missed out on Snapchat, and I've always said, if you use a product a lot, then you really should think about investing in it. Or if you really, really, really like a product, and you should invest, especially if the price is right, if it's at a good deal in the price range. With Snapchat, it went down to like below $5, and I use Snapchat all the time. The only thing that was kind of conflicting was my older friends don't really use it. It's just the younger friends that I have. But I should have just taken the saw into my life and seen and just reflected off of that. Now, Snapchat is not that good at putting ads. They're still learning how to do that, compared to Instagram. Instagram is just, they're professionals at at ad placements. I've at least bought like three different products. One that I regret that it's taken like 2 months to get this jacket that I bought off of Instagram. But they're professionals at putting the perfect ads for you. They monetize what you search and what everything. Snapchat's still getting used to it, and that's one of the little things that I was a little iffy about. I was a little iffy about too the fact that they're not very good at advertising, but they're getting better. But a green flag that I saw was that they are putting more ads. Number one, they are putting more ads, and the way that they're putting news and the news stories on Snapchat, it's really fantastic. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I'm checking Snapchat before anything. I use Snapchat before I use Instagram, and I don't even use Facebook. I deleted my Facebook, but and it's way more entertaining, and you see more news and everything. And a good thing that Snapchat is doing now is they're starting to put stories almost like TV shows for certain celebrities. And you know that girl that's Cash Me Outside, like even she has one, and it's somewhat entertaining that you'll see on your Snapchat, and the stories will pull up. And it's easiest way to communicate with friends and family that I've ever seen. Way more than Facebook, way more than Instagram. And on another side too, I saw one ad, and I heard I read about something that, like, adult actresses, like porn stars, they're going on Snapchat, and you can pay like a monthly thing, and you can see like private stories for them and stuff. I'm sure that Snapchat is getting a piece of that too. And maybe some bigger celebrities that are not in like the adult industry, that are in other things, they have the same thing going on as well. And that's just more money for Snapchat. So that in itself, they're like learning how to starting to walk. And at $5, it was amazing. I missed out. It's at almost like $10. And so the stock market as a whole is looking better. It's looking a little safer than what it was a few months ago. Goodyear tires. I sold Goodyear tires just before the earnings came out. I was afraid that the earnings were not going to be that good. I wasn't worried about the dividend. I made a profit with Goodyear tires when it went down to like $19. I bought into it, and then it went up to about $20 and something cents, and I sold it so that was a profit right there. Now with those kind of stocks, like I said, I was only expecting 5 to 10%, and I don't put that much. FAMI, I sold FAMI at $3.50. It was a small loss. They were the company that does the mushrooms. It was a small loss, but I was okay with that. And now it's at $3.17. I wasn't keeping track of the company too much. I just saw that it dipped a lot. I don't have really too much confidence in it. I think they come based off of China, and I just don't trust any company that's based off of China. I don't trust their numbers. I don't trust the government regulations, and just the way that they do business. I'm not really trustworthy of that. That's why I've always steered clear of any company that's from China. Unless I would only jump into it if it was like a small profit, short term, getting in because I think it's going to go up, and then I'm selling when that jump happens. But interesting is Sears. Sears has gone up to almost like $1, which is crazy. because I feel like they're just manipulating that, and people are just day trading and making a profit. People are jumping into the Sears stock just thinking that it's going to go up so that they can sell it really quick and make a profit. Because Sears, I haven't even looked at the news or press releases, but I can't imagine. I mean, yeah, they just left their best stores out. They took away all the stores that were losing money. They took away all the stores that were iffy, and then they just left their best stores. But I don't know how that works. And I said it before in another video. I don't know how that works because their best product is Craftsman, and Craftsman has moved to, I think, Lowe's or Home Depot. I forgot. They moved to another. I don't think that they have like the ability to sell the same amount of Craftsman tools as they did before. So without Craftsman, what's the point of purchasing for Sears? It's just not. Uh, let's see, and I think those are the only ones that I really taking a look at. Kodak, I'm keeping an eye on it, but it's still far too expensive for what I think. Yeah, and I'm looking at other penny stocks, but nothing that catches my eye like POTN. There's a lot of volume happening in POTN. Whenever there's a lot of volume, it's a good thing or it's a terrible thing. And that's always something to keep in mind. DHXM, that's the company that owns Snoopy and that has a lot of different cartoons, really good quality cartoons. I'm keeping an eye on that one. Maybe if it goes down to $1.40, I'll get into it. That one doesn't really have a lot of volume. When it, a lot of volume, they had a bad quarter. I don't think they reached their numbers. It's tough with because the TV shows, it's going into like a different style, a different industry. The way that they're getting their money is completely different. I mean, people are streaming everything now. DHXM is streaming stuff on Amazon, and I saw some stuff on Netflix. But that's always up in the air because they have to figure out a contract with them, how much they're going to make, and if it's not enough, I'm sure that they're like, well, we're not going to put it up on Amazon, and they'll try to go to their competitors and things like that. So, but DHXM, and also the number one thing with them is these kids that are watching TV. They have a lot more distractions. I mean, yeah, they're little kids; they can't play with their phones too much, but these kids are getting more technology based, and they're getting smarter on these phones, and they're probably playing games on iPads and phones way more. So, and that takes away from watching TV. And that's the only thing that I'm afraid of too. They did open up a Snoopy hotel, like a hotel that's just a bunch of Snoopy's memorabilia everywhere, and like the hotel's just based off of that theme. And it's good that they have that. It diversifies their company, but it's also a bad thing whenever a company, is focused on a few things, and then they try to jump in on a different sector that they're not really used to. You can see how that's also a recipe for disaster, because for a company like that's just dealing with hotels, they know what they're doing. For a company that's dealing with children's cartoons, and then they own a hotel, God, hopefully just pray to God that you find a good general manager that knows what he's doing, that knows how to handle it, that you don't have to worry about. But I don't know if they have that. But that's it. That's all for now. If I think of anything, I am looking at other stocks, because at any moment, if POTN, even if I miss out on it and I don't buy into it, and it's a penny stock, you cannot buy it at Robinhood. That's why I switched to E-Trade on purpose, so that I can buy that stock like 2 or 3 months ago, so that I can start buying that stock. That's the only reason I moved to E-Trade, is to start buying that POTN, because it's a penny stock that Robinhood doesn't sell. But I forgot what I was going to say, but I'll keep an eye on it. And if you are more interested in doing more penny stocks, E-Trade is a little better of an option. Yes, you're spending $5 to $7. At first, I was spending $7, but then I did so many trades that they bumped it down. They're like, you don't. They bumped down the fee to like $4 and something, almost $5. But if you're trading high amounts of number, like if you're doing like $4,000 a trade or $10,000 a trade, then $4 isn't really anything. $4 isn't anything. You could even adjust whatever price you have and change the decimals a little bit on the limit that you're going to buy or sell, just to make up that $4. But we're talking nothing. Like sometimes I even think of buying one stock of a penny stock just to make it easier on you, and spending that $5 just to make it easier on myself and having it shift to my display so I can have it right then and there. And you know, so that's how much that $4 or $5 is nothing. $4 or $5 is nothing. But if you're buying companies and you're only spending like $100 at a time, and because there's a lot of people that are started at Robinhood and they're just spending $5, they're spending like $50 on a company. They'll buy one or two stocks of something. They'll buy one stock of Disney for like $110, and then they'll diversify their own portfolio and they'll have like 50 different stocks, and it's just one or two stocks of each thing. In that sense, you got to do Robinhood because it doesn't pan out. It doesn't pan out. If you're buying $100 worth of a company and you're spending $5, that's already, you got to make 5%, and you got to do a 5% increase on the stock for you to make an even on that stock. So choose Robinhood on that sense. But if you're making bigger jumps and with bigger money, then obviously E-Trade's a little better. But if POTN tanks, or if the others, if it just skyrockets up way too high, then I have to start. It's just like MagneGas. I bought low, sold when it was high. Once that happens for the first time, and in a way, POTN already did that, going from 10 to 20 cents. Even though I still think that it can go up higher, but just the fact that it had that jump, I'm already a little bit more standoffish, because I know that it can go back down to 10 cents at any moment. So, but with MagneGas, it once that first jump, I bought MagneGas at 14 cents or something like that, and then I sold it at 54. Once that initial jump, yes, it can do the exact same motions, and you can make money off of this volatile triangles. Yes, you can. But after that initial jump, then all bets are off. You're at that point, it's more of a gamble rather than an estimated, catching that falling knife, trying to catch that bottom to go up. And then it becomes kind of dangerous. That's why I invested a lot less over time after that initial jump in MagneGas. And that's why with POTN, I'm just carefully going in there just in case it goes back down, then I can buy more and try to recuperate. But that initial jump, that's when people make the money. After that, it's a gamble. Unless you have your computer system or anything has bots where it can do the trade a lot faster and it goes off of some kind of algorithm, then that's the only chance you have. Other than that, you're just gambling. But that's it for me. Just remember, Yeti, it seems like a really great company. Now it's starting to get kind of expensive. I do think that it can go up higher. I'm not 100% positive or sure in the market as a whole, so as to be like a whole gun ho. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes up to $25. I didn't even hear the call. I don't even have to listen to it or look at the numbers. I just know that the product is great. So, and like I said in my last video, it's low liability for the most part when you're talking just strictly about the product, because you're not talking. It's not like Fami, the mushroom company. I mean, something can happen where it's like salmonella on the mushrooms, and then that company's just, and they have to do like a recall or something, and it just sucks. The chances of it happening on like coolers is just, I mean, they have to do a recall because maybe something they made it wrong. It's not that detrimental to the company. There's low risk on that aspect. But that's it. I'm also looking at Tesla. Of course, it's expensive. The price is kind of high, but if it goes down more, I am taking a look at it. I might invest some of it if it goes down to the 200s. Other than that, that's it. I'm also going to start researching companies and really looking at companies that I don't even know, like Yeti. I think somebody commented on one of the videos and said something about Yeti, and I didn't even know Yeti was actually publicly traded. So I'm going to start looking at more companies like that. And just for you guys, what I would recommend, I'm now not a professional financial advisor, but I would just recommend looking at the products and things that you guys use. And if you love that product, take a look at the stock. If it's a publicly traded company, if it's a good price, you might start wanting to start doing your research on it, because you might have an opportunity there. And if you do, share it, comment, so that we can see it. A lot of people that look at these videos, they have good information, and they would love to hear from you guys. So, but that's it for me. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching the videos. And I like doing these live videos way better. I mean, pretty for me, it's always live. I do a video, even though you don't see it. There's probably 1 out of 100 times where I'll delete something and redo the video because it's just a waste of time. And I'll just do that if it's like some drastic thing, like the mic wasn't on or something. But happy Valentine's Day. Have a good weekend. Hope I'll try to put out another video before Friday.